Nothing in the world frightens her anymore, and you feel you could face anything by her side. One day, you receive a letter passed to you by a stranger who bows with deference. An invitation to a gathering of the friends and allies who stood by your side in the fight against the Absolute. You waste no time in packing and set off on the long road back to where all of your adventures together began.
Thou wert called here, some from above.
Didn't expect to be. I feel like I must have dreamed the last few months. Now I'm waking up back in camp with my hair smelling like wood smoke. Oh, I've noticed. So, we should divvy up what we tell people about what we've been doing these past few months. I'd hate to be a bore that comes along. Well, there's the visit to the House of the Moon, fending off Sharan assassins. I'm sure we'll have them hanging off our every word. I'll leave you to do some mingling, and that can be... Almost a shame we're with company. I could get with music and don't get into trouble.
The past-made present. I'm glad for it.
Hells yes!
Ah, soldier. How glad I am. I'm sorry I haven't reached out. I guess I wasn't sure what you'd make. Stubbornly yourself, aren't you? For example, my favorite food used to be mutton chops. I thought I was good at cracking skulls before. Now I've made arrangements with a healer in the city. When a patient, they can go as nature intends to take them, or when they're ready. When I consume their brains, I am nourished by much more. I've lived hundreds of childhoods, first loves, marriages, feuds and friendships. I remember them all. And in this way, I think of you too. It's been wonderful to see you again. Reminds me of old times. I wouldn't trade my life. Enjoy the night. It's good.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross. Just as I hoped they would, more like. It is one that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can. Well, I am not normally given to imbibing. Even the most ascetic of nature's servants would be tempted. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to... In that case, our community grows rapid. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Wraithwind have been repurposed into new homes. It is, truly. Though a more complex... We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who... You are... Now, their appetite for bedtime tales... They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. I shall be... Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening. Quite often. They ask after you often. To make a child smile, I spend half my days in ursine form. I'm glad they are so comfortable. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit, as did I, but somehow Amazing what can be on occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. Even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her. If only we could stay like that forever. Before you go, I have something. Ducks. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like just a token to remember me by.
The material plane. I've almost forgotten what it's like. Aha! There you are. Goodness. It was Faerun. Still, at least the company was worth the trip. If not the view. I told you I would. I imagine you're wondering how all this came to be. The finer point first, I retrieved the crown of Karsus and reforged it. As you know, the orb within me was the half-formed Karsite Weaver. Magic left it. I finished it. Using the crown of Karsus, I turned it into a new form. As expected, Mystra was unwilling to hand over the reins of the weave, so I've claimed dominion over another area which I've passing familiarity. Ambition. I offer them nothing. I inspire them. Great as the heights I've reached thus far may be, I've not forgotten those drawn to the Galarian Creator merely seek my guidance. Ambition is about beginnings. I was nothing. Drifting dust mote, proof their hopes are not barren wastes, but the loamy soil in which their future achievements will flourish. Proof that with ambition, anything is possible. Precisely. A whisper in the ear of a struggling artisan, a breeze to flutter the pages of I am ambition incarnate. As indistinguishable from that most potent sensation, there are already several shrines in my honor scattered across. This is only the beginning. I thought you would. Now, divine as my company undoubtedly is, I have an eternal. Don't let me deprive them of. It's not every day a newborn god shows up.
Old friend, I thought slaying Vlaakith's hunters in the cliffs of Sword's Teeth might be the month, but I was wrong. Were it not for you, I found... We've heard word of a Githyanki outpost hidden deep in Chult. We mean to slay every last Sarth in Kithrak. I thought perhaps you'd care to join us. You always did have a great... Now go. There is plenty of time yet for
Perhaps I should stretch my wings again. Do my eyes deceive me? Well, my first and oldest friend. The last 6 months have been kind to you. A blessing, no less. But I am glad to see you're living life to the fullest. Cazador's mansion has become my palace, and played host to and of course, has seen its fair share of hedonism, clandestine deals, and the occasional disappearance. I'm spinning my web. Power grows slowly, but I have nothing but rather wonderfully, actually. They're the kind of friends that would see me burn the first chance they... But the important thing is I am doing one. And who knows what's next? Isn't time? Perhaps we did share a wonderful adventure, but I will never forget the time. Until next...
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when... I'm glad the months have not been wasted. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon? Same cisterns overflowing? Huh? The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. The Baldurians simply... Harpers have come from half the world over to lend. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined, though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two. There is still much to do. I may have little love for this city. For all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Sentiment. I must inspect the refreshments.
Though I'm going to get very hungry.
You see, Boo? Boo! We are not dreaming! Oh, and it is good to be seen. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk. Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no? In ample time indeed. So, but leave such matters for... How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? Without that, he has developed something of it. There is much merriment. This pond shall do nicely, Boo.
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. You've no idea who I am. Withers couldn't even find a bard that knows who I am. No, I can see it all over your face. Not a clue who I am. I owe him a favor. I thought honoring the worthy was a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another. Languishing in obscurity. So, before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song...
You feel a pang of divine guilt. Musical prayers went out of fashion among bards when Melil, Lord of Song...
I'm washed up, I'm afraid. You... Deep down, I knew you'd recognize me. You're a fan.
Some fish heads and a stale loaf of bread just to get by. Enjoying yourself, I hope. I know. Let's make tonight count. The only regrets I want to hear about come morning should Why, I feel...
On the eve of revolution. Magnificent.
It's good.
Well, there he is, the god of ambition. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous? Ambition. The Gale I knew wasn't like this. Unfortunately, he fell into company that turned his gaze toward foolishness. Yes, as do I. I know there's nothing you could have done to stop him. Perhaps you'd be willing to come meet Gale's mother sometime? Jolly good. I'll tell Mrs. DeCarp. Enjoy your party, dear.